Okay, I started already, but this is just, someone asked me to do a kind of as I was doing it video. This is a little angel candle holder that I've got. You can see I've already coated the white in the candle area. That'll get changed in color after the white dries, but I had to sand some stuff off, and that kind of acts as a primer. But this is her to begin with. I've already done the first coat on her hair, and as you can see, I didn't get close to the halo yet. That will be for the second coat, and the first coats usually are lighter, and I darken them as I go. It's easier if to add than take away. So if you're doing ceramics or painting of any kind, your first coat's my advice. Works for me, is to be lighter so that you can darken it as you go, because if you make it too dark at the beginning, you're not going to be able to change that as easily. As you can see, I've started on these guys. They're going to be gray bunnies, but at least that one's going to be gray. That one might be a different color. I haven't decided yet. This is a candle snuffer. I've still got to sand off see how it kind of gleams? I can sand that off before I coated the inside with one coat of a gold primer. It's actually a primer I buy, but it kind of goes gone gold. Because I cleaned it out, but it didn't get very clean, as you can see, so I'll have to primer that some more. But that needs to be sanded down. This also needs to be sanded. As you can see, it gleams with the clear coat that's on it. But I've got this little girl. What I'm doing is I'm going to work all winter, and then I will sell these at a craft sale. I'm going to put them on Facebook for sale too before then, once they're done. There's two of these little baskets, and then two of the square baskets. There's three total. They were started by a friend of mine, but she gave them to me. And then in this part, I'm going to put some rocks in the bottom for drainage, and then plant little baby aloes. And then those will be for sale as well. I've got several turntables. This one's for finer details. I've got it at eye level, and I've got a little magnifier right there that I can use. She's a little wobbly, and she needs to be sanded quite a bit. I'm going to use metallics and everything on her, so the colors you're seeing here are being sanded off, and she'll be repainted. Then I got these. Now Mary doesn't need to be sanded. She's already ready to go. So she'll get painted up. And then they get sealed once they're painted, so that I'm going to be able to do that. Now that is a food safe picture. The inside's already been treated and everything, and then it's got two pillars for candles or whatever that go with it, so that'll be sold. All this is for sale. And then I've got under my table, I've got storage for completed projects that are in the making and working. This is a drying area. And my coloring stuff. That's my best friend Danny. She died when we were 35. We lived together for 18 years. And then across the room, I've got more storage. There's my Archie. He's modeling his new sweater. It's cold, so he gets a sweater. And there's my fish tank. The leaves you're seeing are to let the fish have a place to hide. Plus, it adds chemicals to the water that are beneficial for the fish. I got them at the pet store. And then there's 5 plecos in there, a black snail to help. If you're going to get snails, for 10 gallons, they said to only get one. Plus, I didn't want baby snails everywhere. But you don't got to feed them like you do the plecos and stuff, because they eat like the fish poop and everything else. And then there's some moss balls there to help filter, clean the water, and a little baby plant. I'm going to add more to the tank, but it'll have to be slow going as I get the money. So, that's my beginning of my painting. And here's one of the primers that I'm using. This is no way a sponsored video. This is just what I can get my hands on. A friend gave this to me. This is a primer and sealer. And, I only use what I can get given or what I can buy, so I don't use a lot of expensive stuff. But this is how I'm trying to kind of make a little extra money. It says, is your canvas. No one else can paint it but you. A friend of mine gave that to me, and I thought it was really pretty. This little girl, she was started, but I'm going to add a little more to her. Um, a friend of mine actually bought this, sanded it, and redid the painting uh, to make it look exactly like it was when it was supposed to be brand new. So I'm not going to do too much to her. I'm going to add some highlights, some glitters, in the hair, highlight her hair up, make her highlighted up, and then she's getting given away probably as a Christmas present to someone. Don't know who yet, but I thought she was pretty. Um, and she's going to be, like I said, she was restored. She was found in a shop, and my friend wanted to restore her to the natural condition and then wants me to highlight her. So her hair will get highlighted and stuff like that. I've got some stencils. Now I'm still learning to use stencils, but I bought these off Wish.com. These are some little alphabets, so if I want to add like a name or whatever. Wish.com is a great place for stencils. But that's my beginning. Here's another bunny. He's going to get sanded down. What you probably can't see is his paint is really chipped, and her paint is really chipped, and she's going to be put with these other two. They'll be matching set. I buy these ceramics that are really in great shape, but the paints are chipped or whatever, like this one. Here near the bottom on the back, the paint is really chipped up. And on the back of the wings, see the rough areas right there, so around the roses has been knocked. I've had to glue those back. So I'll need to cover the glue areas. And then some of these I just highlight the natural paint that's on them and then give them away. But some I completely repaint. I'll buy them painted, sand the paint off, and repaint them. Some of the paints I use, now when you've got paints, and I've said this before, I have flat or normal paints. These are all acrylics. I don't do oils yet, but keep your normal acrylic paints in a separate space from your metallics. It's easier to find them, and when you're storing your paints, if you store them like I do, you'll see here, these are my metallics and glitters only. And you'll see some of the bottles, like this one, I put a dab of paint on the lid so that I can see from above what it is. And because some of them have identifiers on the lids. And yes, I'm flipping them upside down because there's very little in that bottle and I want to get as much out. But like this one, this is a glitter coat, but it's a black glitter. And it's got nothing on the top, so when I open it, I'll put a little paint on the lid so I can see it from above. Make it easier to identify at a glance what I've got. Here, I get these at like Walmart or whatever. It's $1.98 for 2 ounces. And here's how they come with the plastic and everything. This one's a gold glitter. And again, I'll put some paint on the lid. You can see I've done it with some of the others. Hey, what is this one doing in there? Like I said, don't put your gloss or your regular paints with your metallics, because that makes it easier. You can say, well, this bin's metallics and glitters, this bin blends gloss, this bin is flat, and that's what I do a lot. I keep little bins like this so that I can keep little. This is a Precious Moments. He needed his bunny rabbit glued back on, so I repaired him, or her rather, and she's a little Christmas ornament. I'm going to leave her the way she is and just sell her, but she had to be repaired. So I get a lot of things given to me that need repair. And if you need to look for places to store your paints, if someone you know bakes bread, as you can see, this is a yeast container, and I make my own breads and pizza dough. I cleaned it out and kept it, but it'll seal really nice. And then put a color of whatever's in there on the lid. If you have an old tumbler like this cup that maybe the lid got cracked, the straw got lost, or whatever, instead of getting rid of these and just pitching them, use it for your water. It makes it easier because it's tall to put your brushes down in, and then soak your brushes. And then it gives you plenty of room to do all that stuff. So those are a few hints. If you eat